Ambassador, reform is a big topic at the United Nations right now. If you can, tell us a little bit about the reform that you hope to take place at the UN Security Council. And then I'd also like to ask you about budget reform at the UN.
Of course, I mean, the UN needs a reform. There is a consensus on that. The problem is what kind of a reform? If we start from the Security Council, everyone recognized that the Security Council today, its composition is outdated, does not reflect the reality of the 21st century. The 5 permanent members plus 10 non-permanent members. Africa doesn't have a permanent seat. Latin America the same. Asia is represented only by China, though China is a big country and a superpower. So there is a discussion ongoing already for many years on how to reform, how to make it better. And here the dilemma is, on the one hand, you have to enlarge, expand the representation. On the other, you have to preserve the functionality of the council. And because of the veto power, of course, if you expand the number of permanent members with the veto power, this impacts negatively on the functioning of the Security Council. There are some negotiating groups that suggest to expand the Security Council with 6 new permanent members with the veto power. Imagine 5 now plus 6 new permanent members with the veto power, you would have 11 countries with the veto. I mean, this would make it really impossible. That's why we suggest as Italy to expand, yes, to Africa and Asia, Latin America, not the West. The West is already well represented in the council. But to expand to sort of non-permanent members, elected members, even with the possibility to stay longer than 2 years, 3 or 4 years to be re-elected. We call this longer non-permanent seats like semi-permanent. And this, I think it's the most sensible proposal that we can have to expand to improve the representativeness of the council without impacting negatively on the functionality and the decision-making capacity.
What about budget reform?
Budget reform is absolutely crucial. I think, as is well known, I mean, the UN is under financial stress. There's a liquidity crisis, and the SG, Antonio Guterres proposed this proposal to reform the budget, UN 80, cutting a lot of waste in the bureaucracy, 15-20% in the secretariat, and also in different stages, also to reduce the number of agencies and programs, to merge them. Having said that, even this rationalization will not resolve the liquidity crisis organization. You can resolve the liquidity crisis only if each and every member state pays in time and its contribution. And maybe, because we have now the problem with the United States that um, um, that doesn't, is not interested in continuing to pay the biggest part of the budget. Maybe we should have a kind of a review of the assessment scale of contribution, and to have also other countries, emerging economies everywhere in the world to contribute more. Maybe this is time to have a burden sharing more balanced, less focused on one or two donors. And this is certainly something that needs to be discussed. If you want the UN to survive and to do things, because you cannot do things in humanitarian development, crisis prevention, mediation without resources.
Staying on reform quickly, there's talk about reforming the process to elect the next UN Secretary General. You're a champion of women. There's a woman that leads your country. Do you hope to see a female lead the United Nations?
Of course, I do, as I think as many countries and permanent representatives here we never had a woman leading the organization. It's about time. Having said that, of course, I mean, we need to support the best possible candidate. And here, I mean, maybe meritocracy, for the good of the organization, meritocracy is even more important than the gender aspect. We need to choose the best, the brightest person, whether it's a he or she. And I'm sure there will be a lot of candidates around interested in taking this job, which at this time around has a particular importance. There are a lot of expectations that next Secretary General could really make an impact on making the organization even more dynamic and efficient than it has been so far.
Italy getting ready to host the Winter Olympics. Tell us quickly what is happening right now, the excitement taking place, and I understand you have something here at the mission.
Yeah. We very excited about this great event, and as you know, we also facilitated a UN resolution on the Olympic truth, which passed less than a month ago by consensus with 165 co-sponsors, so which is basically almost the entire international community. And so we are very proud of that, but also because it shows that around the theme of ending violence, ending conflict, the international community can still get together despite all the divisions, fragmentations, polarization. Still around this theme of ending violence, we are united, and we hope that this will be translated into reality.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.